Coming up on this episode of MSCB News, we look at the new Vanguard High School Fire Academy.
Students talk about their experiences through the COVID-19 pandemic.
And we investigate the lack of public transportation in Mesquite.
All this and more coming up on MSCB News.
Welcome to MSEB, live from the TEC studios.
Good afternoon, Mesquite ISD. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Ben Newcomb.
And I'm Daniel Lee, and you're watching MSCB Live, a show produced by MISD students and brought to you live from the TEC studios.
We'll bring you the top stories from throughout the district and take an inside look at what's happening at MISD. Let's get to our first story. For our first story, we went to Vanguard High School to look at the new Fire Academy. Let's take a look.
Welcome to MSCB News. My name is Gregory Mathis, and today I'll be interviewing the firefighting program over at Vanguard about all the good things about the program. And who knows, it might even make you want to join.
What do you expect from your students?
Hard work. Number one, heart and hard work. Everything else we can get by with, but if your heart isn't in it, and if you don't feel like working hard, you won't become a firefighter. As long as you're willing to work hard, we're willing to work with you, and we're going to get it done. So heart and hard work are what we want.
Why did you choose to be a firefighting instructor?
I really like it when kids, like when we do engine displays, public services and things like that, kids are really fascinated with the fire department. And my dad was, the same thing happened. My dad in 1960 whatever was brought down, put the bunker gear on by like Los Angeles Fire Department at his elementary school, and kids are like, man, that's cool. And he became a firefighter because of that, and I became a firefighter because he's a firefighter. And so explaining that and getting that into kids in school, like students in school, having the opportunity to learn and see that spark of, hey, I can do this, I can be this, this is something I can do. That's awesome. That's so awesome, and that's what I would like to see more of, and that's what drew me to this. I like seeing the spark. I like seeing the happiness and the light of recognition that they're learning, that they are figuring out this stuff that, I mean, I as a firefighter know, and then now they as a student know, and when they graduate, they'll be firefighters. It's a very rewarding profession, and it's a rewarding profession to be a firefighter, and it's rewarding to help them become firefighters.
What's something special about your classmates?
They're all really supportive, and it just feels like we're a family, and I feel so comfortable around them.
What's the hardest part about the CTE?
The physical part, all the strain that it puts on your body. If you're not like physically fit, it's going to be a hard program for you.
What inspired you to sign up for the CTE?
I was trying to get out of my other program because I wasn't like as involved or interested in it. And I saw like all the cool stuff that they did here, and I thought it was pretty interesting.
What are 3 things you love about the CTE?
I guess like the environment, like everybody cool. I mean, they could be annoying at times, but they cool. And like the teacher, because he'll help us out no matter what. And I guess the other one will be like, I don't know, just all the cool stuff we get to do.
Tell me about the CTE. What do you do?
Here at the Vanguard Fire Academy, we learn how to safely go in and come out of a burning house. We throw ladders, we work with fire hose, we put them on fire hydrants and take them off. And that's about it, and other fire things.
How well does this class work together on a scale of 1 to 10, and why?
I would say a 7, because like some stuff is like a little difficult for some students, so like it kind of make it hard for everybody to kind of connect and be in rotation with each other.
Thank you for tuning in. This has been Gregory Mathis for MSCB News.
I didn't know there was a firefighting program at Vanguard. Not too many districts offer such an in-depth course focused on this career path. There are a lot of seniors throughout the district that want to impart their knowledge and experiences on underclassmen to help them better navigate throughout the rest of their high school experience. Let's see what they have to say.
I'm Michael Parker, and I'm here today with MSEB News, and I'm going to be asking seniors what is some advice they would give oncoming freshmen to prepare them for high school. Let's see what they say.
Get a map of your school, because if you don't, then you're gonna be lost. And you're gonna look dumb. Don't look dumb.
I would say to join all the clubs and all the organizations, do all the things, do all the sports, because that's what makes your high school experience memorable.
Some advice I would give new freshmen would be to explore more of the school and get involved in more curriculars.
Keep a real good group of friends, you know, kind of have almost that brotherly sibling kind of bond with your friends, just to have them to fall back on in case, you know, anything happens. They'll have your back no matter what.
Basically, I would just say try and stay out the way, like trying to do as much, you know, be annoying and stuff like that, and then maybe like play a sport, get involved in the school.
Well, after visiting all these high schools, it seems like a lot of seniors had a lot to say for these incoming freshmen. This was Michael Parker with MSEB News, signing out.
It's smart to follow advice from those who have gone before you. When I was a freshman, I wish someone would have told me how hard high school would have been. Mesquite ISD has a long tradition of town rivalries during the football season. David Garcia is on the story about the rivalry between West Mesquite and Poteet High School. Here's the story.
Hi, I'm David Garcia, here reporting with MSEB News here at West Mesquite High School to talk about the big rivalry between Poteet High School and West Mesquite High School. So, Coach.
Yes, sir.
What was the mindset as a defensive coordinator and the rest of your coaching staff heading into this big rivalry game with Poteet?
So, you know, it was an important game to us, but it was also early in the year, so we wanted to still install, you know, our defense, our brand of football on defense. So we had to keep all that in mind and, you know, not go too much out of what we do as a foundation of a defense. But we definitely wanted to, you know, be physical, be fast, and get after the quarterback. And, you know, that was what we were going, you know, that's the foundation of our defense to begin with, but we really wanted to emphasize it going against, you know, that old green team, the Poteet Pirates.
And it was proven. It was proven. Do you know how long it's been since West Mesquite beat Poteet?
I don't.
I believe it's been almost 7 years. So
wow.
How does that feel?
That's exciting. You know, that's good for our seniors. It's good for our underclassmen to experience that as well. And, you know, hopefully it starts a, you know, kind of swing back that rivalry a little bit. So yeah, that's good news to hear.
Oh yeah, I know. It must have been really good. What was, I guess, sort of a game plan to stop the offense, since both offenses for West and Poteet were kind of on a roll?
You know, we wanted to pick our spots of bringing pressure and really getting after that quarterback, like I said earlier. But man, you know, we can draw it up on the whiteboard all we want. But when we can't get off blocks and you can't tackle and you're not running to the ball, it's not going to help you. That scheme doesn't matter. So, you know, throughout the week, we were really just stressing on playing our brand of football, Wrangler speed, running to the ball, getting off blocks, and being great tacklers. So that was the mindset, and I think we executed that pretty well.
Oh, of course. What was the emotions running down your head on the field after the big win, huge win?
Just extremely excited for the seniors. You know, their last time playing Poteet, and they showed up in a big way, and I know that had to be, you know, very exciting for them, and a memory that they'll always have. You know, they always get to have the bragging rights anytime they see, you know, a former Poteet player, and that goes a long way in this city. So extremely excited for those seniors.
Yeah, hopefully it's a big memory to treasure. What was your favorite play?
My favorite play, I believe it was a third down. They're on our right hash, and they throw a screen to the boundary, and Matthew Amaya, number 9, comes down and lays a big hit on the running back. Just read the screen perfectly. Really just changed the momentum in that second half, and it was a big-time play for us, and really showed, you know, what we were talking about all week of being physical and running to the ball. And that play right there just kind of emphasized all of it throughout that week. So that was a big time play for us.
Just like your motto, take them to deep water, right?
That's it, take them to deep water.
Yes, sir. Alrighty, well, that is all of our time for today. Thank you, Coach Maddox.
Thank you. Thank you.
This is David Garcia with MSB News. Thank you for tuning in.
It has been a great year for football so far. Be sure to support your favorite team as the season closes and playoffs begin. Not too long ago, Russia invaded Ukraine. I went investigating the worldwide effects of the war. Here's the story. Many young people in the United States have heard about the ongoing war in Ukraine with Russia, but are unaware of what it is about and its global impact. This is Daniel Lee reporting for MSCB News, and I am going to speak with Mr. Martin, the dual credit geography teacher at Mesquite High School, to get these answers.
My thoughts are really sad for the Ukrainian people. I really hope that the Russians get some kind of sense in them to stop attacking civilian targets. And I think it's just in general pretty negative development for the world because, yeah, that's Ukraine. It's like their sovereign territory, so Russia should stay out of their business, basically.
Yeah, and that follows up to my next question. What effects does this war have on Ukraine and everybody else?
Well, it has a huge impact because, one, Ukraine's a huge supplier of wheat to the world, so now the global wheat supply is messed up, so it's going to impact all of our food prices and our food availability, as well as our energy issue because Russia produces so much oil and gas, and a lot of countries aren't buying from them, and it's making the price of oil go up. Yeah, it's a really tough thing for the everyday Ukrainian people to deal with. I really hope that there can be some kind of resolution soon.
With that being said, what are your thoughts on Russia saying that they'll only go to nuclear war in defense?
I think that is a false statement because to them, not being allowed to just take over Ukraine is offensive to them. And so I think that if they are going to use nuclear weapons, it wouldn't just be because of self-defense. They would use them obviously to try and end the war in Ukraine and make Ukraine surrender, which hopefully, fingers crossed, it doesn't get to that point.
Let's hope that Ukraine and Russia find a way towards peace. This is Daniel Lee with MSCB News. Back to the studio.
Speaking of historical events, this current generation of students also lived through the COVID pandemic and are experiencing repercussions from it. Paulina investigates students' perspectives on this life-altering event.
Hey MSAB Nation, I'm Paulina Aragon, and I'm here at Mesquite High School asking students about how COVID affected their lives. How did COVID affect your life?
COVID, it ruined my freshman year because I think it happened during my freshman year. So COVID affecting my life, I don't know. I feel like I didn't really have that freshman year experience, and I didn't really have anyone to talk to that year. It was online. I was a VLA student, and I feel like it took that part out of my life.
It really showed me how important being around people is. Usually I used to always think that being alone and secluded was my favorite thing ever. But being separated from my friends and my family for almost a year really did show how much being around people and being social is really, really important. And also just being in an environment where, everything's shut down, everyone is feeling the same way. It really demotivates you, and just school was not the most important thing to me at that moment in time. It was just am I okay? I have already medical conditions that I have to deal with, and so I had to take a lot of precautions during COVID and things like that. So it was just my focus was a lot of different places rather than school.
Affected it really bad, really bad, really bad.
Why?
When COVID hit, I was in Mexico. I'm in the villages, so I didn't have good internet connection.
Affected my life by being very difficult to find interest in stuff and being all alone and everything.
And what did you struggle on the most?
To find the motivation to do stuff like school, it was hard to put in a lot of work.
And what did you do to change that?
I tried hanging out with my friends again, we would go out and stuff. So that year, I for sure went out way more than I usually would, but yeah.
And what did you do to change that?
I tried like picking up new hobbies. I tried when I got back into school to really push myself and try to get back into the flow because going from my first year in high school to basically skipping my sophomore year to going to junior year, it was a big jump, and so having to rehabilitate myself in sort of way just, you know, it took some time, but I got used to it.
And what would you do to change that?
I feel like it just really takes time to kind of feel used to it again, because COVID's are going around, especially the flu's coming up. So I feel like definitely I think time would be just the best to kind of make it better.
What do you do to change that?
I attended class, because before I didn't. I just like fell asleep. I did not even turn on my Chromebook. Just nothing. I just spent all day watching Netflix, and that was it.
And why did you struggle with that?
Mostly because I was alone and I didn't really have a lot of people to talk to at the time.
It looks like everybody found their own way surviving the COVID pandemic. Only time will tell us fully if we will recover the lasting effects of social distancing. This is Paulina Aragon and MSCB News signing off.
COVID really changed how students and their families go through life. One thing that hasn't changed is the availability of public transportation in Mesquite. Now, in our final story, many nearby cities have public bus routes. However, Mesquite officials have resisted including these routes in this community. Lil Swint has the story.
I'm Lil Swint with MSCB News, and right now I'm in the only public bus station in Mesquite. It takes passengers from Hamby Stadium to Longview Dart Station. But how did we get here? It's a surprisingly complicated story. Let's take a look.
Our story starts with the birth of two transit companies. Dallas Area Rapid Transit, commonly referred to by the acronym DART, was created in 1983 to service Dallas County. And just a few years later, Star Transit was created specifically for the North Central region of Texas in 1988. In 1983, the city of Mesquite held a vote to determine if Mesquite would join DART. The results were extremely close at 2,192 for and 2,213 against. City Council discussed whether they should hold another vote, but decided against it. When it comes to DART, or public transit in general, money is a big issue. City officials, such as Communications Manager Wayne Larson, said that the cost of joining DART would take too much money and too many resources. In 2011, DART provides Mesquite with a compromise, a bus route to a DART light rail. It cost the city $300,000 a year and didn't last that long. Mesquite threatens to leave DART again. In June of 2014, an agreement was proposed between Mesquite and Star Transit. Star Transit would take a route between Hamby Stadium and one of DART's train stations. If Mesquite takes the agreement, it would no longer have to pay DART. And since Star is not funded by sales tax, it wouldn't have to pay them either. DART doesn't want this agreement to happen, so they dropped the election requirement for Mesquite. But even so, a couple of months later in October, Mesquite takes up Star Transit's offer.
And that about sums up the story. There's no current push for more public transportation in Mesquite, but if there was, how do students think that would influence Mesquite?
Hi, my name's Amanda Carter. I'm a senior at Mesquite High School. So I've never used public transport in the United States or in the DFW area. However, I have been fortunate enough to use public transport while I was in China visiting my family. Over in China, there's just such an influx of people that public transport has become something that they rely on. China was simply just not built for a lot of cars. Over in Mesquite, we are built to have more cars, but not everybody has a car or access to go get a license or a car because we are lower in the socioeconomic range. So I think public transport would be beneficial for Mesquite, though I may not find personal use in it.
Hi, my name is Paulina Aragon, and I'm a student from Mesquite High School. I've been to a lot of buses in Seattle. It's really normal over there because that's the main thing in Seattle, besides taxis and Ubers. And I feel like that would be a good thing in Mesquite because Mesquite there's a lot of traffic here, and buses would be a good thing.
The public transportation, I feel like if there was more of it, more people would use it because I see more people walking. With there only being so little transportation, it would help if there was more, to be honest. I walk, so it's a 20-minute walk from me to even get to school. So if there was more transportation, I would take it. And I do go to work, so it's like a 20-minute drive. So if there was more buses around, I would take the buses too, since I wouldn't have to walk as much to get to anywhere. So that's my take on the transportation situation.
If we want public transport in Mesquite, it's going to take everyone working together to make a change in our community. That's all from me. Now back to MSCB News.
I have always wondered why we don't have any public transit in Mesquite.
This wraps up this edition of MSCB News. For more information on today's stories, please visit the MSCB YouTube channel, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook pages. Thank you for joining us today. I'm Daniel Lee.
And I'm Ben Newcomb. Until next time,
stay classy, Mesquite.
This has been a presentation of MSEB, Mesquite Student Entertainment and Broadcasting, in association with the Mesquite Independent School District Career and Technical Education Department.